Good evening and welcome to episode 123. As always, let's start with our gratitude attitude. So, if you would please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your body. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all your stress melt away. Take one more deep breath. As you exhale, completely let yourself go. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you identified that, think about why you're thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you're thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. All right. So we've been talking about karma for more than a month now. One thing that keeps coming up is what happens if you do something as part of your job. The so-called karma and dharma, if you will. By the way, I'm not sure that's the right phrase, but that's the phrase I think Sunan came up with, so we are running with it. Does it have a negative effect associated with it? In general, the answer is yes, with a few caveats. So let's talk about the exceptions first. If there is an imminent danger to living beings and doing harm to one person protects many lives, then there is no negative effect of karma. There are examples of these in spiritual text, in most every spiritual text. One example is a Buddha. In his previous life, Buddha was traveling with a boat full of merchants. And through his clairvoyance, he saw that one of the passengers was about to kill the rest of the merchants. To save all those lives and to save that one passenger from getting negative karma for killing all of those people, Buddha killed this one passenger. So in today's world, that will be equivalent to knowing an imminent terror threat and neutralizing the terrorist before they could attack. But barring an imminent threat to many lives, there is no justification for negative action that I could find in any of the spiritual texts so far. Now, it is debatable whether simply working somewhere generates negative action or not. For example, let's say someone works as a bookkeeper at a slaughterhouse. They're not butchering anything. So I'm not sure that they generate negative action of killing just by working at a slaughterhouse. Because for negative action to occur, 4 conditions have to be present, as we discussed last week, right? If you remember, you have to have the object, the intention, the preparation, and the execution. And then intention has 3 different subcategories have to be present: the discrimination, determination, and delusions, right? So once you satisfy all those conditions, then only negative action occurs. So let's talk about another exception, which is what if something is part of your job, the so-called Dharma we keep talking about. In ancient times, a soldier on a battlefield, right? People keep giving me this example of Krishna asking Arjun to fight. But that soldier on a battlefield who followed certain rules and only fought with someone of their equivalency, that was an exception. This soldier was not affected by any of his actions. But in today's world, modern warfare is such that there are hardly any rules. Everyone is killing everyone else without discrimination. And that's certainly not an exception. Another thing people keep bringing, what if somebody orders me? If someone is following an order, but knows that the order is morally wrong, then we have a duty not to follow that order. Otherwise, negative actions are attached. Also, continuing killing after someone is no longer a threat has negative action to attach to it. Similar to, people say that as a police, you don't fire on someone's back, right? That they are walking away from you, they are no danger, imminent danger to you. Similar situation. Another thing I want to point out is that a soldier has a duty to avoid collateral damage. If trying to kill one bad person ends up killing 10 innocent people, there is a negative action attached to it. Again, I refer back to the 4 conditions we just discussed. So now let's come back to real life. For those of us who are not soldiers, if our job makes us compromise our moral standards, in my opinion, if possible, we should find another job. Why? Because even if there is no negative karma attached to it, the fact that against our own moral standards would keep bothering us. It would become stressful at times. So it makes sense to, go find a different place to work. If for nothing else, then for our own sanity. Someone actually asked Buddha this. Buddha said that a lay follower, average person, should not engage in 5 types of business. Business in weapons, business in human beings, business in meat, business in intoxicants, and business in poison. So those 5 professions one should avoid for sure. Beyond that, a lot of this comes down to our own moral compass and what we are comfortable with. For example, as a rule, I stayed away from investing in any real estate where tenant sells alcohol or marijuana. This is a personal rule. My only logic is that, hey, if I don't want to consume something, I don't want to make money out of consumption of those substances, right? So you can decide your own rules around your own moral compass, if you will. While I was doing research on this topic, I came across what's known as the Lakshmi Tantra. It's one of the 5 Panch Tantras. According to Lakshmi Tantra, one should avoid making a livelihood through number of things. 1, begging. 2, loan sharking. 3, bribery. 4, this is interesting, living by a profession which directly or indirectly causes suffering to other beings. So it says don't work in meat industry, leather industry, brewing industry and whatnot, even if you are not involved in actual butchering. And fifth, which is also interesting, is that mining factories where you take things out of the earth, if you will, because it usually exploits poor and vulnerable people. It also leads to degradation of environment through deforestation, pollution, whatnot. So I was quite impressed is that it goes that much detail. It also talks about the 7 legitimate ways one should make a living. The very first thing it lists is inheritance. So living off your dad's money is a wonderful thing, they are saying. Profit from honest commerce and trade. That's the second thing. Purchase of lands and assets. Winning prizes and money in competition. Through teaching other people. Or advising other people. Counseling other people. Through vocational, right? Being a plumber, being a bricklayer and whatnot. And the last one is also interesting to me. It says through lawful acceptance of gifts, as long as unsolicited donations. So I hope all this clears up a lot of confusion around the issue. And hopefully, I have not made the matter worse than it needs to be. So holidays are upon us, and I thought we'll perform this taking and giving meditation today. Because during holiday time, we tend to get stressful, we tend to get angry and so on. So as always, we'll first settle down at our hearts. And next, we'll contemplate how everyone wants to be happy and how they lack true happiness. And then we'll imagine that we are taking pain and suffering from other living beings. You can either imagine a group of people with a specific ailment, like everyone who's suffering from cancer or whatever that happens to be. Or you can imagine people in a war region or a specific individual, if you know is going through some hard time. We'll imagine all of their suffering gathered in the form of dark clouds. Imagine that every inhale, we are taking away their suffering. And I'll, of course, guide you through the whole process. So if you're ready, let's begin. Please get into your meditation posture. Back straight. Spine upright. Shoulders leveled. Gently close your eyes. If you are carrying any stress in your jaws, just keep your mouth just a little bit open. That will dissipate any stress in your jaws. Palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, see all your stress drip away from your muscles. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let yourself completely loose like a rag doll. Now, bring your attention to the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Feel the cool air as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your attention on your breath for about a minute or so on your own. Bring your attention at your heart. Imagine everything that happened before this moment melts into light and disappears. Things that have not yet happened are not real anyway. So there is just this moment. Enjoy the peaceful nature of your root mind at your heart. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, imagine a person, an individual, or a group of people who are suffering and you want to take their suffering away. Imagine they are right in front of you. Imagine all of their suffering gathers in the form of thick black smoke right in front of you. As you breathe, as you inhale this thick black smoke, you are taking away their suffering. As you exhale, you are giving them peace and joy. With every breath, you are taking part of their suffering away. Every exhale, you are giving some peace and joy to them. As you breathe in, you're taking away their suffering. As you breathe out, you're giving them peace and joy. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to actually say the Buddha example was great. It clarifies a few things, but I think there will be some questions. Maybe next time we can do a question answer session like before.
Sure, we can do that, but
Yeah,
next 2 weeks we are taking off.
yeah. Whenever we meet
So,
next time.
okay, let's do a Q&A session
Because
by itself.
I have some specific scenario I want to talk to you about it, but
Okay,
yeah, I don't want to take it a whole evening, right? So maybe if we can do a Q&A session, we can
let's
do
do
that.
Q&A.
But
The next session, let's keep it
yeah,
Q&A.
yeah. Yeah,
All right.
whenever we meet them. But I mean, I actually genuinely think the Buddha example was great. It did clarify a few things.
Good.
Uh, but I have like very specific things,
That's
and I'm going to basically put that in context. Think about it. Maybe the questions will go away, but maybe not. So we'll see.
that's fine. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions today, Falguni?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's stop recording.